horny.
It's like California.
Yeah. Knows how to party.
Yeah.
California.
Okay. So we're good. Alrighty. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Inner Mind podcast, where we talk about health, wealth, and relationships and everything that has to do with the mind, body, and soul, digging deep into holistic healing and everything that life has to offer, how to be human in a spiritual world, and all of that good stuff. And today I have a special guest. Well, every guest is special, but this one I've just been on the path and the pleasure of getting to know over the last couple months. And it's been a beautiful journey. And we've gone on some hikes, had some deep talks. We have similar stories, some trials, some triumphs that we've been working through. And so just wanted to invite her on here to share a little bit about who she is. Her name is Kristen Kalawarny. Did I say it right? Kalawarny?
Nailed it. Kalawarny, baby.
Yeah, Kristen Kalawarny. And so she is, I'm going to let you introduce yourself. I just like having people say, what are you a part of? What are you doing? And yeah, what's your mission? What's your mission here?
Ooh,
And welcome, by the way.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for having me on your badass podcast. You know what I didn't ask you? I was like, is there anything off limits? Am I allowed to swear?
I try to leave the F word out.
Okay.
However, only because you can sometimes get censored for it. And I've just learned some things, and I mean, I'm not opposed to it. If it comes out, it comes out. I'm sure I have in the past, but yeah.
Okay, well,
Yeah.
I'll do my best.
Right. I know you were just sharing. You're like, I've entered an angry stage.
Well,
you don't have to go into details about it today, but one day we will.
We are going to absolutely.
There are things that life throws you and where you're like, I can no longer feel sadness. I am moving to different emotion, and it is anger.
Oh, and it's one of these things that doesn't matter how much healing that we all do, we're just not here to be able to bypass it.
Yeah.
Because it's going to creep up somewhere.
Yeah.
It's going to creep in through those seams. A little bit about my mission and myself. So when I love this question, when people ask, they're like, well, what do you do? And I'm like, this is where I would swear. Well, I help people tap into their hearts and feel effing good. And, there's nothing more important than how we feel. That's every day. Like, you go around and you can live this life feeling like shit, and we can allow life to consume us and just take over. And that can be fear, anger, sadness. And then we're just stuck. And what I really love doing is helping people find the light in the dark. And it's like, even in this last little while, I've really started to unpack what it is that I'm doing and working with people. And it's really helping to alchemize their shame. We all have it. Yeah, we all have it. Sheryne, as we know, like childhood, especially, man, trials and tribulations happen for us, I always say. But it's about helping people unpack it at any stage of life that they're in, and knowing that I don't care whether you're 80 years old, we can unpack it and really help free you in this lifetime so that you're not exiting with all of that you haven't been able to unpack. You can exit and be free at any age. It doesn't matter.
Yeah. Oh, that's good.
It's good.
Yeah. Yeah. You want to unload that baggage before you go on. Like, if you're exiting the earth, it's like you want to leave as much behind as you possibly can, because you do not want to come back. In that sense, I will say, I joke with a couple of my other friends about, we do choose earth and it's a life experience because it is so emotional. And I love that you brought that up. It's like, how you feel is so important. And that's a lot of the reasons, in my opinion, why people choose earth. And I say it that way, choose earth, because it's like, yeah, you're going to feel all of that. You're going to feel all of the things. I've said this in so many podcasts. You're going to feel all the things when you come here.
We're not, that's why we signed up for this earth school, what I call it, is 100% that. And we can do whatever we can to distract. And you guys, we'll all get to the place where we will distract to the point of no return. And then all of a sudden, your distractions, whether it may be alcohol, relationships, sex, gambling, your appearance, your beauty, it eventually doesn't work anymore. And I can speak from all that experience because I've gone through so many things in this lifetime by choice, which sometimes I'm like, what the did I really sign up for this? And it's like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you know what? I did. And how about we look at it in a different lens? Why do we have to look at anger? This is a really good topic is where did we learn along our journey that anger is bad and not good?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe women are taught you are pretty, you are feminine. Feminines are very nice and fluffy and like a flower. So anger doesn't really look in that, princess world or that feminine world. But I'm telling you, it is so important and it is so powerful to feel anger.
Mm-hmm.
You were
Yeah.
going to say something when I was,
No,
oh,
no, that you hit the nail on the head. I think it's important to feel all of the emotions. And as a female, it's one that's kind of off limits for us. And I think it's coming back. I think there's a reformation happening in that there's a reformation and a liberation of it's okay to be angry. That doesn't make me less female. That makes me more human. That makes me more accessible. That makes me more relatable. That makes me a healthy human.
yeah,
And I think that's beginning to be recognized. And so I have definitely allowed myself over the last year. I was considered a bit of an angry child, I'm going to be honest. So I haven't really struggled with anger.
that's
um
good.
I have always been on display with my anger, but I quickly learned that it wasn't acceptable. So
Oh,
I've allowed it to be present with myself, but I haven't allowed it to be present with others. And because it can be scary. Angry can be scary. And
yes.
so I've had to learn how to express anger um with boundaries, but also with liberation when it comes with others. So yeah, that's been my
100%.
journey. It's been my
Yeah.
journey.
And for me, it was opposite where um that would hurt people's feelings and really caring about how other people perceived me was really ingrained at such a young age, as well as perfectionism. So anger didn't fit in my wheelhouse. It was not the way that we operated. So
Mm-hmm.
if I was angry or said how I really felt to someone, I was essentially hurting their feelings. And I learned very quick at a young age that speaking my truth wasn't exactly acceptable.
Mm.
And so I had to learn how to reparent myself and learn that I can say how I really feel to others, as well as taking a stand and boundaries, just like you were saying. And it takes time.
Mm-hmm.
We don't just learn this overnight. And whereas maybe, for example, you came here and you were able to express anger and you didn't have that be pushed down deep within
No.
your soul. You were like, hey, this doesn't work for me.
I was like, what the hell am I doing here? And no, I'm not okay with it. This is not what I signed up for, and I'm gonna let you know about that.
Yeah.
That's how I came across.
And I
So,
think that's lovely because that's something that you can also help others and teach others. It's like how you feel matters. And that's
mhm,
something that I didn't know. I didn't realize that how I felt mattered. So it took
mm,
a lot of time to rewire that. And so part of one of your questions is about my mission. And it's a big one, but it's not that big if you break it down. So raising the frequency of the planet is absolutely always on my mind. And then I thought about it. I was like, that's a pretty big
I was gonna
ask.
say that that's no joke. Do you
It's
really
no
want to
joke.
do that?
Well, and that's exactly that's a perfect this is a perfect place to go, because then I broke it down. I was like, well, why, Kristen? Like what does that mean to you?
Yeah.
And then I thought about it. I was like, you know what? It means a lot because it starts with me. So if I can break down, trauma from childhood and come into acceptance of myself and, understanding why I chose to be here. And then I can go a little bit higher and I can go, wow, just by me changing my thought process and rewiring my brain, I'm watching this ripple effect happen to my whole family, my
Hmm.
mom, my dad, my grandmother, my son. And that's just been from one person, and that's me.
Yeah.
So I was like, wow, we all hold so much power and we all don't realize it. And so as I started unpacking that, I'm like, so if I'm one person and this rippling effect is happening, and then, my dad is starting to do his inner child work and his healing, and then all the people that he's surrounded by is sending a
Yes.
rippling effect outwards. I'm like, this really isn't a big task,
Yeah.
because one person that I work with for my one-on-ones is going to send a massive rippling effect to their family.
Yeah.
So this ripple effect that I'm after and that I'm tapping into isn't really far off from raising the frequency of the planet, because one person can handle thousands.
It's really about working on yourself so that you can create impact through those around you and be that leader and that example. And I definitely
100%.
can relate to that. Um, I was just looking up my human design chart because while you were speaking, it reminded me. Do you know your human design?
Yes, you did it for me, my
Yeah, I
love.
did do it. I was like,
So I'm a generator and you're a
yeah, you're again. I,
manifesting generator.
yes.
And so
And
you
I,
give me voice.
yes, I give you voice. I have the most powerful channel in the human design chart, and I'm gonna totally toot my horn. But
Good.
I
Fucking
wanted
oops. Toot it. See?
to,
There's the F bomb.
it's all good. I wanted to look up, just looking up something, I can't find it. Basically, it's like, are you self-focused? Are you motivated through self? Are you motivated through others? And I can't find it in my chart, but I know that I'm individual focused, as in I prefer to work on myself and be the example versus trying to change the whole. And I'm very much like, my responsibility is me and only me. And if I can heal myself, then I can be an example and lead others. I'm also a 5-1. So it's kind of like, I can't remember, what's your profile?
So if you
Six
just,
two.
yeah, if
Aren't you
you
six
open up
two?
mine in your conversation, you sent me the whole thing.
Yeah, you're 6'2",
Yeah. And
which is similar. You bring wisdom.
yeah, you had said
You're
to
six
me,
two. Yeah, you're 6'2", and I'm a 5'1", which is really, it's like Jesus and the disciples. That's really what it's like. It's like you're the role model and I'm the savior. And so it's like, I think it's so important for us to do our own work and
yeah,
to be the leaders and the example.
yeah,
And so I can relate to you in the sense of, not so much I want to change the frequency of the planet, because that to me is just way too big to take on. But do
but you're
I want
already
to,
doing it.
right? I'm like,
Doing it.
I want to change, I want to raise my frequency.
Yeah,
I want to work on me. And out of that, the byproduct is that I can be an example for others and they can figure out their own shit. They can heal their own shit. I'm a little bit different than other healers in that I don't want to heal you. That's a big responsibility. I really just want to heal myself and show you how to heal yourself.
100%.
And here are the tools. And something that you and
100%.
I, just circling back, that's something that I think you and I had in common, because I wanted to share how we met,
Let's do it.
actually. Yeah, I thought it was a bit synchronistic. And to be honest, like stuff like this happens all the time. We just ran into each other the other day. Um,
Let's save that. Let's go from the beginning.
yeah, from the beginning.
From the top.
You I went to where was I? I was in Langley, which I mean is 15 minutes away from where I usually reside. And I went to a health food store, and I was in the health food store. No, this was summertime. And I noticed a woman wearing white shorts and like cute little like heels and like a cute crop top and beautiful hair. And normally, as a woman, you kind of do the whole like, who she thinks she is being so pretty, right? I didn't do that. I genuinely was like, there's something about this person's energy. And I only saw the back of her, and she was walking towards this one section of the store. And I thought, there's something about that woman. I like her style, pretty hair from behind, and just was like, interesting. Like you caught my eye. And I didn't think anything of it other than this is a nice energy. This is not like a stuck up, I'm health food shopping. This is a beautiful person that I don't even see the front of her face, but I can sense it. And that doesn't happen all the time. Yeah, you see pretty people in places, but it was different than that. It was an energy that you were carrying, and didn't think anything of it. And then later that night or that afternoon or evening, you had messaged me and said that you had connected through someone that was at one of my workshops and that you wanted to pick up some product. And anyways, it ended up being like, oh, well, why don't you just come by? And you're like, yeah, that works. I can swing by your place. And it was so wild because you come to my door and you're in the same outfit. And I was like, wait, what? And I was like, were you at Nature's Fair earlier today? And you're like, yes. I was like, I saw you. I saw you. And you're like, no way. And you're just like, and okay, the other thing is the fact that you were still in that outfit. Cause I mean, it had been a whole afternoon, evening. Like you could have changed, gone to the gym. I don't know, but you were in that outfit, and I don't think I would have recognized you because I never saw the front of your face. And it was just like, oh, like you were literally meant to be put in my path for a reason. And then it was so synchronistic. So, and then we share the same mission, and there's a lot of similarities, plus you're doing a lot of the modalities that I'm presenting to people, and so there's this other level of synchronicity. So love it.
Yeah. And just even when we met and you opened up that door, it was just this instant vibe of like connection, home, comfort. Like I was just so comfortable, and we talked for a long time.
Yeah.
Because even when I had messaged you and then we're messaging back and forth, I remember I was pulled over on the side of the road, and because I had gone to Nature's Fair, and I was like, yeah, I'm like, you know what? I think I was going away somewhere. Yeah, I was going to go on a little family thing, and I wanted to connect and get product. And then it was like, right now, let's just do it right now. And then going to your house and meeting with you was just divine. And then the fact we saw each other was like, okay, our contract started now.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
That's how it works.
It was meant to be.
Yeah. And I wanted to share, actually, it was so cool because after I met you, we then ended up, it took a little bit of time, but we ended up going for dinner next.
Mm-hmm.
And we met in White Rock. And I loved that. We had such a beautiful dinner and a good conversation. And I'm just going to share what happened, what went on inside of me was, I was like, there's something with us, whether it's work or connection or friendship. Like I just felt that there was something there. And then I remember you asking me, like, well, what certificates or like what do I have from my background? And here's, you guys, like, as you know, Sheryne has fucking like everything dialed in. Her brain, her science, her all of it is just you're whether it's diploma, certification, it's all locked and loaded, right? And so for you guys who don't know me, my background is 100% experience of actual hard fucking being in the trenches of experience. That is what I'm here to do and to learn through my experience. So when Sheryne asked me that, there was this piece of me, this little girl that kind of wanted to come up to be like, well, I'm not good enough because I don't have the list of documentation. I'm like, to be honest, and I said this, I was like, I have my Reiki certificate. And, you know, coming from somebody like you, of course, it's got all of these things. I just had to feel the feelings. And I'm like, I am good enough. I am worthy of being who I am and where I'm at and what I'm doing. So it was almost like it was such a cool test.
Yes.
At that moment. And then this was the cool part is we talked, like went so deep, you guys, into our stories and all of the things. And then something that you had been sitting with. And then I had asked you just a little question. I was like, well, you know, where in life is this happening?
Yeah.
And you were just like, whoa, this is,
yeah.
It was perfect. And I was like, it helped me understand that how powerful we all are in our own ways, regardless of any certificates and things, because it's about holding space and listening to each other, having conversations, connection, and miracles can happen in a fucking oops, that's my natural, always swearing, in our conversation. We both went so deep within for each other and held space so beautifully.
Yeah, I think we reflected back to each other some inner wounding, and then we were able to work through it together and process it. And something I want to say I did recognize is I could tell you'd been in the trenches. I could tell you've done the work because I've met people that are, I mean, psychotherapists, psychologists, registered counselors who are similar in my field, trying to do, not say trying to do the work, but doing similar work as me, but they actually don't have any of the experience. They're just kind of like, well, I have my textbook answers and I have my protocols and I have, you know, all this other stuff. And it's like, I don't want that either. Like, it's like, I want what I want is like, I think that having the experience and the reality and being in the trenches sometimes far outweighs all of the education. And I say sometimes because it's a gray area, but
got it.
Yeah, I was like, I could tell talking with you that you have done the work. You have been in it. You're still in it. We're all still in it. And it was refreshing. It was really refreshing to know, okay, you're doing it. And you're not on an ego boost of, oh, well, I've done this. You're like, no, I'm still in it. I'm still going through it. I'm still teaching. I'm still learning about myself. And I'm applying that on the daily to my audience, to my people, to my clients. And so I find that really refreshing, really refreshing.
Thank you.
And also speak to like what you were saying. And, you know, just so the audience knows, one of the topic that you're referring to that I'm still mulling over is, you know, I had said to you, I have this history. Now I can blame it on astrology. I go deep into the astrology. Like my sun and my Juno are in my 12th house. If you know anything about astrology, the 12th house is psyche and it is inner workings, it's underworld, it's dark matters, but not in the dark way, but in the innermost being. And Juno is a lot about relationships and romantic relationships and marriage and stuff. And I said to Kristen, I said, every man I have been with and every really intimate relationship I've had, it's come to a matter of I am kept secret in the relationship. I am the biggest secret. Like they are secretive and they keep me a secret. And I mean, I'm on a podcast. Like, it's like I have friends that have said to me, you're the most transparent, open person I know. I mean, I will say it as it is. And that doesn't mean I'm always calling the shots. It's just, you ask me questions, I'm going to tell you the truth. you don't even need to ask me questions. I usually end up telling you what I had for breakfast, what color my poop is, how I curled my hair, where I bought my dress, like what I'm afraid of, what I'm trying to overcome. I'm pretty open and honest. And so when you looked at me and what did you say to me?
I said, why are you keeping yourself a secret?
Yeah.
And you were
Yeah.
just like, because it was all those mirrors of why the hell are these
Yeah.
guys keeping you a secret? And so it's like the same mirror.
Yeah.
And it's like, you're not meant to be kept a secret. You're not meant to. And even with us saying this is a perfect, I love that we're talking about this because you're, like you said, you're on a podcast and you go around, helping people in workshops and you do these amazing things, but there's still a level to it.
There was a layer. There was a layer. It was like, oh my God, what if people really know me and like my insecurities? And I think it went even deeper because I did a meditation the other day. And in my meditation, I heard, are you ready to really receive love? Are you really ready? Like, can you just receive love? And it's like, ooh, that goes even deeper because it's like, oh, it was unmasking so many things. And so ever since you said that, I've been unpacking it because it's like,
Awesome.
why am I keeping it? What am I keeping a secret about myself? Why am I so afraid? What needs to come out of me? And it's slowly coming through the surface. And I've been journaling and meditation, talking to colleagues and being like, what is that about? And I recently, my business partner, she's looked at me, she goes, why are you playing so small?
Yeah.
Why are you being a secret? Like, why aren't you talking? Why aren't you sharing this? What? And it's like, ooh. And here's the thing. I don't even need to know why. I just can recognize this is happening. Sometimes I think focusing on the problem is part of the problem. And I say this quite often. And so it's like, I don't even need to know to what degree why, because it could just be human nature. Could
Mm.
just be that's how we're wired. And then it could be societal construct. It's like, what I do know is I don't want to be anymore.
Right.
I
And
don't want to be anymore.
yeah, and just you being aware and then for you to observe that, this is going to take an everyday commitment to yourself that you're going to just in the moments of, am I speaking or saying this to be safe, or is this how I really feel? And then
Mm-hmm.
when we start to look at how we've operated, like maybe you've said things to somebody just to protect their feelings a little bit, or maybe you're dimming a little bit down on your social media or here, where instead it's like, I'm just going to fucking say it, I'm just
Yeah.
going to say it
Yeah.
because it's just holding ourselves back and keeping ourselves that little bit of dim. Cause it's like when I was saying before, me being angry to somebody or, expressing that, it was afraid of the repercussion. What is that person going to think of me? But now, because I've stepped into this role, I'm like, I don't give a bleep now of what they think of me, because guess what matters, you guys? It matters what I think of me.
Mm-hmm.
So when you operate from how do you feel about yourself? That's when your whole world shifts and then your external world shifts because you're not in that secretive or like trying to appease the world. That's a really hard thing to try to do because we can't do that.
Yeah.
You got to come back to you. How does this feel for me? How is this landing? Did I take care of myself today, or have I done everything for my children and my husband today, or my partner? Have I carved out that time because I matter?
Yeah. It's so interesting because I've been working through some wonderful manifestation courses and diving deep into it. And we're talking like ancient wisdom. Um, and self-concept continues to come up,
Okay.
and our viewpoint of self-concept. And self-concept is like, who are you at the core? Who do you believe yourself to be? And out of that, and they keep saying, and they don't use the word mirror, but who we are is pushed out onto others. It's like projected. So who we are inward is going to be pushed out outward. And that whole self-concept of what you're saying, it's like, if we want to be able to receive all the things we want, we really need to understand how worthy we are of receiving these things.
That's the exact answer. Worthy.
Yeah. The concept is, I know who I am, and I know what I deserve. I don't like the word deserve, because
Okay.
it's just icky, but I know what is mine. I know what is already mine. It's like
Yeah.
a birthright.
Mm-hmm.
And so the whole course is going over self-concept and just reiterating, how do we create self-concept and a positive self-concept? And how do we do that every day?
Mm-hmm.
How do we do that so that we can actually create what we want? And you're hitting on it when you were saying those things, like choosing self, and not from a place of, well, I need to do this. It's like, this is who I am. I need a bath because I know who I am. I
Mm-hmm.
need to journal. I need to go on a trip. I need to eat now. Not because, well, I should eat. I should eat right now. Oh,
Yeah.
I should do this. It's like, no, I know I am part of the divine and I am source. And so I'm going to do this from a place of knowing who I am, because that's my birthright and
Yeah.
I'm worthy.
I love it.
Yeah.
I have something that's like
Yeah.
ping to be said. And
Say it.
this is what we all are dealing with. So somewhere along the line, there's a belief that you held on to. Maybe it was from your family, your mom, your dad, your sister, your aunt, your uncle. And that belief was mirroring or showing you, or you believed, you grabbed onto it because it was theirs. And you're like, okay, well, I'm not worthy of this. So
Mhm.
now that belief that is deep, 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 deep imprinted into your freaking body, your soul, is still there because we haven't accessed it. So what's happening is you're creating these experiences to continue to show you that deep-rooted belief of
Yes.
unworthiness.
Yes.
So everyday manifestations, I don't care what you do. I am worthy. I am worthy. Yes, I am. But this little thing from 4-year-old Kristen that she's still holding on to, that's deep rooted, is still going to create manifestations of people that are going to show me experiences of where I still don't believe that I am worthy.
To
And it's,
validate the belief. Yeah.
there you go. And to wake us up to then hopefully rewire that, access that, and say, holy shit, I'm still holding on to that 4-year-old.
Yeah.
So
Totally.
how about as we go there, then we can create beautiful experiences all the time that is mirroring how worthy we are.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so in life, my belief is this pattern, this cycle will continue to go on until we access those areas of ourselves, and no relationship or beauty or drugs or anything like that will change the experiences. It comes from you.
Yeah.
We have to
Yeah.
bring fucking light to it.
Yeah.
I'm trying. I'm trying.
You're good.
Oh my gosh. We got to. And that's part of alchemizing
Yeah.
shame or beliefs. And they're deep rooted. And guess what, guys? It doesn't mean we have to go back to childhood and relive the experience and like
No.
pull it. No, it's let's transform, and we can do that. We can do that way faster,
Yeah.
way faster.
There's so many ways. Yeah.
So many ways.
And one of the ways that I mean, I'm all for inner child, that's something we have in common, is like recognizing, yeah, you need to recognize what was programmed in you at childhood. Where's that part of you? I'm a huge, huge fan of parts therapy. Like, how old is that part? How long's it been there? Is she running the show? What's going on there? Recognizing, integrating, alchemizing that part, those beliefs, and then creating the new reality. What do you want to believe instead?
Yeah, that's right.
What it's like now, higher self, now self concept comes in, true birthright. What do you want to believe instead? What do you want to create instead?
Mm-hmm.
Because we can't have beliefs without creation. We can't
Mm-hmm.
have new beliefs without creation, because the mind is always looking for confirmation. It's always looking for evidence. That's how the ego works, is like, okay, well, the feedback system, Pavlov's law, like, if I stick my hand on fire, now I have evidence that fire hurts. And now I can calculate that and I have that programmed in me. And so it's looking for this feedback system. So it's like we have to create a new reality so that we have a feedback system of, yes, I can have a different experience. Like you were saying, we create experiences to confirm those beliefs. We have to create experience to confirm our new beliefs.
That's it.
So I love all of everything that you're saying. Amazing.
It's so good.
This is why we do what we do.
Woo! And, through experience, then we gain tools. And it's like, to everybody listening, if you don't have tools, go and get them.
Yeah.
There's wicked people in this world. And I'm careful to say, so many. Be really mindful of who you're going to embark on this journey with as your mirror, what I call it. Who do you want to embody? And I don't want you to ever embody someone else, embody yourself. But I'm coming back to what you said earlier is about, this is my belief. When people come and see me, for example, I'm offering a space and a vibration that you can come into and you can sit there and you can work through all the things that you're going to work through. And you're going to have an opportunity to meet my vibration. And so whatever you do when you leave, that's totally your business. Whether you stay there and you do more work, awesome. But there's nothing that you or me or anybody else can do to make you stay there. You can go right back into that old cycle. So that's why when Sheryne was saying that about you're healing yourself, don't ever go to a healer thinking that they're, I was going to swear again, healing you, because they're not. They're offering you a seat at a vibration and tools. And then it's like, go home and do that work. And, I've been embarking on this journey for so many years because the environment and my experiences and what I was creating were getting louder and louder and louder for me to go deeper and deeper and deeper into the abyss. And I had choices. I had many choices where I was like, nope, I'm not ready to go there. I don't want to look at what's inside. I'm going to distract and I'm going to avoid and I'm going to focus on my external world. That was the X for me. That was other people. Because when we can put blame or focus on others, we're distracting ourselves from thyself. And the only person that you need is thyself. That is who you need to face and that you need to forgive and that you need to love. There's my story again.
Love.
It's just, that's who you got to love. There's nobody else that can love you to heal your wounds. You are the one, you are the answer. You are your own kryptonite, period.
That's good. And you dropped a different F word in there.
What was it?
Forgiveness.
That's right.
Yeah. That's a big one.
Yeah.
You had mentioned forgiving self.
Yeah.
It's a big one.
Do you want me to go there a little bit?
You can go there a little bit. We may need to do a full other podcast on forgiveness.
Yeah.
But if you can give a snippet of
okay,
what your experience has been in forgiveness and self-forgiveness. I think forgiveness is just so projected onto others. Oh, I need to forgive them. But it's like, as everything that we're saying, it starts with you.
Yeah.
So,
and people say like, forgive them, cut the cords and free yourself. Okay, that's great. And people do that all the time. And they're just like, okay, I cut the cords and like, okay, I've forgiven myself. It does take time and it doesn't just happen like that. And how I've worked through forgiveness is because it comes down to this very simple example. And it's like, why would I want to hold on to a burning hot coal, expecting to burn the other person as I hold on to it? But ultimately, what's the burning hot coal doing? It is burning me. It is causing me pain, shame, guilt, all these things. And I'm expecting that to affect that other person. So forgiveness is freeing ourselves from what they have done to us. Why are we reliving that story over and over like this horror movie? You're the one that's reliving it, you're recreating it, you're holding on to it. So why we have to forgive is ultimately to free ourselves. And I've had to do this time and time again. And then there's a new layer of forgiveness that comes up. And then, like you said, forgiving yourself. I had to forgive myself for why didn't I leave? I was in a relationship for 17 years. It was crazy. I have a beautiful son. I've been through crazy stuff regarding this experience. And it was like, I knew that by me being angry or hating, that person or the ex is going to make me hold this resentment, and it's going to affect my son. It's going to keep that cord attached. It's going to keep recreating this. And I was like, I need to forgive them. And then flipping it over,
Because really you were angry at you.
I was angry at me. That was it. I was angry at me because I made those choices. I stayed. Why did I keep doing that? Why did I not free myself? But it was the mirror of him. So I kept on projecting that to him because I was mad at him for not changing, for then me having to then make a big move and have to do something about it. And that's what I always say to people. Cycle in the same cycle, or make a radical responsibility, take radical responsibility and leave the relationship. And I didn't want to do that because then what? I looked like the bad guy. Then I have to deal with the repercussions of it. So that was the anger part, because I'm like, why aren't you changing? And you do this and you be the person that I want you to be. Well, how the hell can we expect somebody to be the person that you want them to be? Nobody can do that. You have to accept who they actually are showing you every day, showing up as themselves every day. So sometimes it takes doing really hard things to get your power back, to come home to self. And so what I move into is feeling the feelings, cutting the ties, doing all that, but then moving into forgiveness to see them and thank them as signing up to be the villain in your movie, because we all need a villain to keep us moving. And it's like, Sheryne, if we don't have a villain to move us, we're going to stay really dim. We're going to stay dim to fit in, and we're not going to move. Yeah. And it's like, you have this beautiful mission and this path to be on and to help others. And it's like, look, if I wouldn't have taken that leap of faith and left, I wouldn't necessarily be here today to then help people walk through the shame or their forgiveness. So I truly have come to thanking them and every other person that's played a villain in my movie, because we signed up for that shit.
Yeah.
So in the trenches, yeah, it's not fun. And yes, many times I wanted to just be like, cut the scene, exit out of the body. I'm done.
Overplayed your role.
I love when you said that.
How many times has the villain overplayed your? Okay, yep,
now you're building karma, bro.
Right? I said that. I was like, now you're just creating karma. Like, we're trying to clear this up, but now you're just making more. Like, you've overplayed your role. Exit stage left. We're done here.
And exactly. And there's so much, like you had said, forgiveness. We're just touching the very tip of it. And my story is insane. I do have a 2-hour episode that is the raw truth. And I am open. I'm an open book. I share it all. I talk about it all. It's just, I'm excited for you and I to be able to dive into some even deeper conversations. 100%, because they're juicy juice.
Yeah, there's a lot there. There's a lot that we can unpack. Raw emotions. I like that you say that, because that's very much you. In fact, you can take a moment and just share. You have a podcast called
Raw Babes 101.
Yeah. Raw Babes 101.
Yeah, raw. It's uncut, unfiltered, unscripted. It's just
Yeah.
It's just everything that I've learned on my path, I share it. And my belief is what, what would be the point of me going through this if I couldn't help another person or share what I've experienced? And I can almost say there's pretty much almost every tick on the box that I've experienced, whether it's from grief to separation to my own shame. There's so much there. And, like I said, we're all here to help walk each other home. And it's in whatever capacity that looks like, whether you're assisting someone to clean their home or you're a lawyer who's helping somebody through a crazy battle. We're all here in service to
Mm-hmm.
ultimately help each other,
Yeah.
right?
That's good.
Share
Yeah.
love,
And I'll
spread
link,
love.
I'll put your podcast link in my show notes so that if people want to check it out, um, they can do that. And then at a later date, we can go deeper for sure into your story, into the stories we've
The
told
story.
ourselves, the stories we've told ourselves. So, yeah, thank you so much for coming today and
Yeah.
for showing up and for being raw and for, I don't know, just hanging out and talking a little bit. It's been good.
Time doesn't exist. Things happen so fast. It's crazy. Like, look at the
Where'd
time.
the time go? I know. I
Thank you
know.
for having me. You are also going to be on my show and
Yes.
mine and Tiffany's, and have you share your magic because, as everybody knows, you are magical.
Oh,
And
thank
I'm
you.
so grateful that we decided to come to Earth School together. I
Yeah.
always say when we meet certain people, I'm like, we
We
did
did
it.
it. Oh, it's
It's so
funny. I
good.
have another girlfriend. She was on another podcast, and I looked at our astrology charts. I haven't looked at yours and mine yet, but I did a synastry chart for her and I, and just the way it adds up, she's basically led the relationship. She's her north node on top of my vertex. And in so many words, it means that she's meant to be a guide and that she kind of coerced me in some areas of life school. And I said to her, "You dirty bitch." I was like, "I bet on the other side you're like, I want some chocolate ice cream. Do you want to come to Earth with me?" And I was like, "Yes." And she was like, "Right, let's go to Earth." And then we came here, and then poof, we don't see each other. And then, she enters in at this very incredible time, like similar situation. Well, synchronistic is what I mean. And it was just like, and I said to her the other day, I was like, "You totally coerced me to be here, didn't you? Like, you totally were like, and hey, class of Earth School 2075, whatever that is, right? Whenever we depart." And she's like, "I probably did. I feel like I probably convinced you. Let's go another round." And so I'm sure you were there in the group too. I'll come with. I
Let's
love a good
go.
story.
Like,
I
it's going to
love,
be so good.
yeah, I'd love to find love again. I'd love to rip my soul out again. Let's do it.
Hey, yeah,
Level up.
let's go in there and experience. And yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? It's a journey. And all I can say is have grace.
Yeah.
Our my goal as well is just to be at peace inside.
Yeah.
When you can just be at peace. And it's like, well, what does that look like? And I'm like, I don't know. I'm gonna keep unpacking it and I'll let you know.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, just keep on you got to just keep on unpacking it, and we're here to learn and love and experience. So, well, thank you so much for
Thank
hanging
you.
out. Love it. Really appreciate all that you share. And yeah, I'll
Yeah.
put all of your info in the show notes so if people want to find you,
Yeah.
hear more about you, learn more about you. It's all going to be there.
Yeah.
Otherwise, everybody, you can check me out too, Inner Mind Performance, as well as the Inner Mind Performance on Instagram, all the socials. That's where I am. Otherwise, I hope everybody has a fabulous day and stay tuned for next time. Bye for now.